Hey, how's it going, guys? If you ever watched my videos, you probably know that I made a few videos about Fair app and what kind of a scam of a car getting service that is. I was able to actually find a customer that was willing to do an interview. He has to keep his name and all the information, all the personal information private. So I'm gonna keep all the personal information private. So we're just gonna call him the dude. And unfortunately, when I was doing this interview, we kept breaking up. So whenever you see a breakup in the video, it's not because I'm trying to be sneaky. It's not because I'm trying to like hide something. It's just we were getting breaking up in a connection for some reason. So yeah, if you have any questions or if you have any comments or if you want to share your experience, please leave a comment in the comment section and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks, appreciate it. Tell me a little bit about your story. I know you said you don't want your name out, so I'm just gonna call you the dude or the man.
The dude, that's fine. The dude works. Yeah.
The dude works awesome. So tell me, what was your experience from how you encountered the app and what was the whole process? Because unfortunately, there's actually very few people that are talking about it.
Yeah, that's why I want to be a little, I don't really want my name out there because you never
Yeah,
know with
yeah,
large
absolutely,
corporations. So
absolutely.
this was
Yeah.
ended up being about a 10-day process. I first noticed, was made aware of Fare when I went into the Uber app and it gave
Mm-hmm.
you a choice. For a long time in this market, it was only giving you a Hertz as far as choice of rentals. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd been trying for literally for 2 months to get a Hertz rental, and by the time I'd get on there, put in my credit card information, and think I was going to be getting a car, it was gone. So that
Mm-hmm.
was a little frustrating. So when I
Mm-hmm.
saw this was the reason that I kind of jumped on Fare. So I
Mm-hmm.
saw them in the app, and then I downloaded the app. I saw them as the alternative, I should say, to Hertz in the Uber app. Went online, uh, looked first online before downloading the app to get a little bit more information about them. Downloaded the app, and like I said, this was about a 10-day process between beginning and end.
Mm-hmm.
And looked for a few days, see what they offered. And at the very beginning, there was nothing. You would go on the app, and for this market, there wouldn't be any cars available at all. So it
Mm-hmm.
took a few days before even seeing any cars on there.
Gotcha. I have a couple of questions already. First, how big is the market where you live? Do you live in like 5 million area, 2 million, or do you live in,
Oh,
Yakima?
no, 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 no. This is a big market. So this
Okay,
is very big.
so the market where you live is big, is a couple of million people. You said it took you 10 days from start to finish. How many hours would you say that was over 10 days?
Well, I was testing it out first to see what they offered. So I was actually having to go back and look probably about 3 or 4 times a day to
Mm-hmm.
see if there are any cars that were going to be on there. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was looking probably for a few days, ended up spending about maybe a total of an hour in those few days, total time, I guess. Because I'd go on for just a few minutes and see if there
Is
was
that an
anything there and nothing. So
Is that an hour for the entire process from start to signing the paperwork and all that?
no,
Or
no, no,
just,
no, no. That was just for the first few days, even looking for a car.
okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah, that was not no. There were many, many, many hours between then and the final paperwork, and we could talk to
Gotcha.
you about the customer service and all that.
Yeah, I would love to hear about that because one of the things they advertise in their app is saving time. An average time it takes to buy a car at a dealership is between 6 and 7 hours. Unfortunately, it's still a very long time, but with an app, it should be faster. And so I'm guessing it took you somewhere around 10, 12 hours maybe with all the things you had to do with customer support. And tell me about that. What happened after you found the car?
I found the car. What you'll find a lot, well, when I was looking, there were a lot of Honda Elantes and Elantras, I guess you'd say, and then Nissan
Mm-hmm.
Altimas, and a
Mm-hmm.
smattering of other higher end cars, which were a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
So once I decided on what I wanted, the car I wanted, and what started going through the process, it took a little time. There's a lot of paperwork involved, And so, they're basically, they're saying they cover the roadside service. You can opt for insurance with them as well, which is about $31, $32 a week, something like that. And then there were some scheduled maintenances. They would pay for some oil changes, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
the kicker is, and that's what I found out later in thinking about your video and some others, was that if something happens to the car, if it's a mechanical breakdown, you would be paying for that. They're not paying for it. So
Exactly. Exactly.
that started raising questions in my mind here. So anyway, so I selected a car, went through the process, signed all the paperwork electronically online, then got to the giving them 500. And so that did take a while. It did take about I guess a good 12 hours or something, maybe longer than that. And
Wow.
then I had an issue. See, the thing is, when you're dealing with their customer service, there's a lot of back and forth, and they're switching you every time you go online to their app and speak with text via customer service. You're going to a different office of theirs. They'll say this is such and such office,
Ooh.
and
I bet nobody knows what the hell is going on.
yeah, you can tell. Or at the end of this, I could tell one hand didn't know what the other hand was doing. So, and there was an automatic time. Well, later they told me there was an automatic timeout because I would start the conversation, and then they would say, "We'll get back to you in a couple hours," and then I'd keep, I had the push notifications on,
Mm-hmm.
so it would beep. The phone would beep if they contacted me, but I can't keep looking at the screen. Well, I've got other things to do around the house or work that I have to do. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd miss them. So I'd be waiting like 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours. In one case, it was like 12 hours.
Holy
And
shit.
then they would get on very quickly, and within 3 minutes they would disconnect me. So I was like, guys, I can't get to you. I've been waiting for you all this time. Why can't you wait just a little bit for me? And that was very frustrating. And
Yeah.
later on they said, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. The application on our end automatically disconnects you in such and such amount of minutes. I was going, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You know,
And
um,
I have a question. Was there a phone number where you could talk to a live person that would be able to help you out instead of this Mickey Mouse texting thing?
there was a number at the very beginning that they listed when I started the
Uh-huh.
process, but then I couldn't find it later. So maybe that was my fault, but I sure didn't see it later on. And I actually asked them to call me at a certain point. I said, "Can you
Mm-hmm.
escalate this and call me?" And nothing. It was like crickets. So I selected the car and went through the paperwork. It took a little while to go through all the paperwork. Now, did we talk about what they offer as far as what they give you? As
Nope.
far as okay. Oh
Nope.
man. So during the paperwork, you'll see that they offer you insurance, roadside assistance. Um, they there's some other things they offer you, oil changes and stuff like that, but they don't offer you, if something happens to your car mechanically, you will have to pay for that. They don't. There's nothing that you go through with them, so that's
Mm-hmm.
on you. So if you had a
Mm-hmm.
windshield wiper motor go out, that's a couple $100 out of your pocket. You never know with cars.
Yeah.
This
Fuel pump
because
goes out, that's out of your
yeah,
pocket.
you don't know. So anyway, went through all this, signed all the papers, went to pay the money, and then there was a problem with the credit as far as not on my end, but on their end with the
Mm-hmm.
processing. So
Mm-hmm.
they rejected it the first time, and I was asking them, what's going on. They said, well, if you click 3 times and it rejects it, there's a timeout on it, and said send us some screenshots via email, and we will go ahead and contact you the next day via phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I can't take screenshots. That's just the way it is with my phone. I can't give you any screenshots. So
Mm-hmm.
went back to them via text the next morning. I kept getting this that the customer service is only 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Um, Monday through Sunday, I guess. I think it is 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't get any phone call from them. They said they were going to call me, and so I just went back on the text and started talking to them again. Now, one thing is that uh, they're talking. We're talking about customer service and how long it takes a usual um, to buy a car. You said what, 6 to 8 hours, something like
Yeah,
that,
at
if
the
you go with your
dealership, and it's
dealer.
still very long
Yeah.
time.
Well, we're dealing with their customer service took many hours because they would you would get on there. You're always dealing with a different um, part of the United States, where different offices in the United States. Then they
Mm-hmm.
would say, "We're going to go ahead and we're going to escalate this, and or not escalate. We're just going to get you to the right department. It'll be another
Mm-hmm.
2 hours before they get back to you." So I was keeping the phone with me, had the push notifications turned on, but they would if you didn't hear the phone or anything, uh, even if you're waiting hours and taking hours going back and forth with texts,
Mm-hmm.
they would just drop you in like 3 or 4 minutes if you didn't just hop right
Mm-hmm.
back on it. So that means I'd have to go back on again with customer service again. They would say, "We're going to go ahead and get you to the right department. It's going to be another 2 hours." So this was hours and hours and hours. I mean, this was like taking
Mm-hmm.
countless hours.
So you have to
Go ahead.
sit there and wait for hours for them, but they can't wait 3 minutes for you, or 5 minutes, or 10 minutes.
Exactly. I even text them about this. I said, "Guys, this is not customer service. This keeps you 1 star. You can't, by automatically timing people out like this. That's
Yeah.
not that's customer, as Clark Howard would say, that's customer no service." So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. That is true.
so
I
I
mean,
was calling them on this as I was texting. I was calling them on different customer service things. So anyway, okay, so we're up to I selected the car. That was like the 16th or 17th. I started seeing the listings. Uh, so we're on the December 20th, 21st. Let me go back to the calendar here. I selected the car on the 21st roundabout. I went ahead, signed all the paperwork, and then at this point that we're talking about now would have been Saturday the 22nd, I believe. That's fine. We got the credit things situated out. The app went ahead and reset itself, and I applied the credit card again. Although they had told me you can't use the same credit card again. You have to use another credit card, and it was a brand new credit
mm-hmm.
card, had very high, you know, limit and everything. But anyway, we got that
Mm-hmm.
situated. But that was again very frustrating dealing with all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense to you, am I making sense with all this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because there's
yeah.
so much to
So
this.
yeah, so you tried to use a credit card, it declined, then you tried it again, you declined. Meanwhile, you're talking to them about this, you're trying to figure this out, and then the third
Right,
time they're telling you you gotta use a different credit card because this one, it has been blacklisted or something.
right, right.
Okay,
Well, no, they
okay.
said that if you use it 3 times, if you try 3 times with the same credit card and it doesn't go through, it times it out for a certain number of hours.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
gotcha, gotcha, okay.
So, that's cool. I understand, this is new to this area, and I can understand having trouble with apps and stuff, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, this app was listed like 5 star or something, which, and then I'm kind of wondering, why this is a 5 star app. I started kind of questioning some of this stuff. You know what I'm talking about. You've been in the car business for a long time. You know what's going on.
Yes, the
You
funniest
know.
part is I actually am about to upload a video about, or I think I did already, how they get their 5 stars.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Everything is bought. Everything it's a service. You can buy 5 star ratings.
Well, there's some things that just aren't jiving here. So anyway, we go through that. Finally accepts my credit card. Okay, so we get to the part where I've paid. The payment has gone through for the $500. Okay, the screen comes up on your app and says, "Okay, great. We're waiting to hear from the dealer. We're connecting to the dealer, and we'll tell you when and where you can go pick up your car." So this went on for a few days, and because on the app it says it took 1 to 3 days to get your car.
Uh-huh.
So after about the second day, second, third day, I started texting him. I said, guys, can you kind of give me a ballpark of where and when I can pick up the car? And they couldn't tell me anything. I went through the same process of going to being transferred to another office, and then another 2 hours. They said it's going to be 2 hours before we get back to you. And then I did that a few times, which took hours and hours. And then uh, my second try, I did get somebody. They came on and said, "Congratulations on your new Yaris." And I'm going, "That's not the car that I ordered."
Oh my
So,
God.
and then that's all I saw. And then they had timed out. I couldn't reply to them, and again they cut me
Oh
off.
my God.
Because they automatic cutoff or whatever, because I couldn't reply back to them quick enough. So then we're getting into the third day here, the weekend. I think we started on a Friday, so we're on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday, I get an email from their marketing wanting me to tell them my experience, and I was very upfront and very truthful with them. I pointed out different things that the customer service was very robotic, and it's not like you're talking with a person. So I wasn't really sure how often a computer was jumping in and just giving me standard answers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or there's some places in the Philippines, I don't know if you know this, where there'll actually be a human that's involved with it, but
Mm-hmm.
they'll click different responses to. Do you know what? Have you heard of that? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, I
talking
know
about?
exactly what you're talking about.
You
Yep.
know, so it almost made me feel like I was maybe talking to a cyborg or something
Yeah,
that was,
yeah.
So, but no, they kept saying that, no, this is a human. And I said, I kept referring to 2001. I thought this was HAL, and I was speaking with a computer, but they
Yeah.
didn't get that. They didn't understand the reference. But I got through the app previous to that, on the same day. It was either that Sunday, the 23rd or 24th, which was the Monday. I got through the app and said, "Oh, congratulations, your car is ready in downtown Atlanta. Here's the address. You can go pick it up." So I said, "Hey, great. The car's here in town. I can go pick it up." Then the lady had left a voicemail message, which I didn't hear until the 24th, saying, "Your car is congratulations again. Got your car on that Sunday, which
Mm-hmm.
was the 23rd." I had texted them asking them about the car when it'd be ready to pick up. Then the app showed it was in downtown, ready to be picked up. I tried to make a reservation appointment. The app wouldn't let me do that. Someone had called me and I didn't realize it, and left a voicemail saying the car would be delivered directly to me around about the 4th. It was coming from another state.
Mm-hmm.
I called back in, not called, I didn't never called, spoke to them on the phone. I went back in the text the next day because I didn't realize the lady had left a message. And I said, can you give me an update on where and when I can pick up this car? And
Mm-hmm.
because it's saying I can pick it up in downtown Atlanta, I'd like to go pick it up today. And then the person said, I'm going to have to send you to another department, another 2 hours waiting. Anytime they switch you to another department, it was 2 hours. So,
That's
I
crazy.
was waiting for this person to contact me again. But during this time, what they do, they will transfer you, and you can text to this person, but they won't, whoever they transferred you to, but they won't respond to you. So I just started typing in some of the problems I've been having with customer service, and how it's very
Mm-hmm.
disjointed, and it's just not making much sense what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
That one hand is not knowing what the other hand is doing. Anyway, so they got back to me, and it was actually like speaking to a person instead of a computer. They were much more interactive, and they said, "Oh, guess what? You know, sorry, but uh, it's going to be delayed until the 8th of January before you will get the car, and it
Wow.
has because it has to be delivered to you from another state." I said, "Sir, I was polite but very concise, and I said, I just can't. That's going to cost me lost wages. I can't do that. So I said,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have to cancel at this point."
Uh-huh.
and they said that's fine. They didn't, they didn't put up a fuss or anything. They said you'll get your money within, a few business, but up to 7 business days. And I got my
Mm-hmm.
money a few days later. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that was my hours and hours long
Yeah,
deal with
so
Fair.
you I'm guessing you spent probably about 12, 15 hours just doing all this stuff.
Oh man, it was more than that with all the back and forth.
Oh wow, that is
It was
insane.
it was a lot more than that because you were
So
having every time they would transfer you, you had to wait another 2 hours.
so you got the refund, and every time that you will have to talk with them, you gotta wait like 2 or 3 hours before they would get back with you.
Yeah,
So
that was the
you
very
said so you're telling me you
exactly.
spent over 20 hours with all this waiting?
No, we spent no, man, this was days. It was not 20
Oh,
hours. This was because you were waiting for these people. You would talk, you text them, then you'd have
uh-huh,
to, they'd say they're going to transfer you. And again, the
uh-huh.
messages that they would send you, it wasn't like you were talking to a person. It was just like these pat messages that,
Yeah, it's an
you know,
autoresponder. As soon as
yeah,
you
it's
have a
like
question,
we're
an
sorry.
autoresponder says, "Hey, I'm gonna send you somewhere else."
It's like, I'm sorry you're having troubles. We will send you to someone else, or it was all they would always start out with a pat. You could tell it was always when you started doing the text messages that it wasn't a human. It was already a pre-configured response that you would get, which made me
Yeah,
think that a lot of the others, like you're saying, were probably were responses as well, even though they claimed they were human. So I don't
yeah, yeah.
know.
Unfortunately,
But
many
man,
car
I'm just
dealers
telling you.
even use that.
Oh man, the thing
So
is,
what?
as you well know, that there are people that are desperate for cars, and that's why I came on and wanted to talk to you about this because you got to be a little
Absolutely,
cautious here. You know, so
absolutely.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. What was the price that they said you were gonna pay monthly?
It was between. I have to be a little vague on this, but the cars started about 100. I qualified for cars starting about 130 to about 170, but then you have to add on about if you get insurance and this and that, you add on about another $25 to $30 on top of that. So you could be paying 160 to maybe 200, 190, somewhere in there, depending
All
on
right,
the car that you selected. Yeah.
yeah, let's just say just like kind of low area at 200, or I mean hell, even 160, right? Let's say
Right.
160 times 4, that's $640. I mean, you can get a nice car for $640 when you're
You can get a
buying that car.
Lexus, can't you? Can't you get a
Yeah,
Lexus for that?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, cheap Nissans, just cheap Nissans will run you about $280 a month. That's a cheap
Yeah.
Nissan. You can get a
Well, see,
nice car for $640 a month.
the thing is, and as you know, they're saying that you can change cars at any time. You're not locked into this, but you won't get your five
Deposit
hundred
back.
dollars back.
Uh-huh. And
It's
every
just
time you
it's
get a new
gone.
car, yeah, and every time you get a new car, you have to pay another $500.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yep. And
but
and
yeah.
here's something else that I found out. There is miles limitations on it, on the
Really,
car.
I didn't
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Unfortunately, there is. I started to do some more research. There's miles limitations on how much you can drive it. So
Oh
it's
man,
yeah.
if you're driving
Can you
for
imagine?
Uber or oh
Yeah,
man,
somebody's getting this for Lyft and Uber, and I mean they're gonna get screwed bad.
yeah, it's not going to be a pretty picture. I'm happy, that I saw one of your videos talking about it. I saw another video, and that's why I just said I'm gonna. And that was another reason why I backed out. I said something's just not right. I really need a car, but I don't want to be beholden to these people for whoever knows how long.
Yeah,
So
and I've just for this purpose I actually did a little bit more research, and I found some rental companies. Well, I live in Miami. The prices are going to be different. To different city, different state. But I found a rental. It was just a cheap Nissan again, or something really tiny, just a four-door Nissan. I think it was Nissan Sentra. at $627 a month. That's with taxes. I
And you can
mean,
use that for Uber?
yeah, they don't care. It's unlimited. It's a rental. You can drive however you want, as many miles you want. Just, I think it's within state. I think that's the only. You know, when you get those really cheap rentals, they want you to stay within state. So because they assume you're not gonna be going on highway trips, but they forget that a lot of people are renting these cars for Uber, and and Lyft. I mean, $627 a month with taxes for a car that you're gonna be making money on, that you don't have to do any repairs on. You don't have to maintain it. No oil changes, no brakes, no any sort of fluids you have to buy for it. I mean, that's not too bad.
Okay.
So,
Well, yeah, go ahead.
okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I appreciate you doing this for people because this, it's good public service, to let
Yeah,
people
no
know
problem.
what's going on. You know?
I mean, I
So
barely have any subscribers, or I mean, it's laughable. The only thing I'm really hoping for is so some big, news outlet will pick up the story and do this, do an
well,
actual, like, a real fucking journalistic investigation into this, because this company got almost, I think, $2 billion in funding. Like, how do you get two
two
billion dollars and you fuck
two
up this
billion.
bad? Yeah,
Oh my God.
last that I was heard, last was known number was 1.5, and I know it did not stay at
Wow.
1.5. People are still like investing because all these companies, they constantly find investors. Like, that's all they do is they find more investors, and that's how they stay afloat, because they're losing money on doing stuff. And the something else that blew my mind. Let's say they only stay at $1.5 billion, right?
Uh-huh.
Their reviews on Google Store, the actual app, right? The Google Play Store, where you can download the app, are sketchy as fuck. You have either 5-star reviews or 1-star reviews. How do you have something that's that bad? Like, how?
Yeah.
How how
It's
does somebody get either horrific customer service or 5-star service? I think the five
yeah.
stars are not real reviews,
No,
because
they're
you
not.
can't you.
From our conversation, you could tell this is a one-star service right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I went to their YouTube channel, and I found out that they bought views for their videos. There's zero thumbs up, zero thumbs down, zero comments, or like 3 comments on 90 million view video. If 90 people view a video, you would think there'd be at least 1 thumbs up or 1 thumbs down, or more than 3 comments. I mean,
Yeah.
I get laughable, views on my videos. I mean, they're in double digits, or triple digits, but I have people that are commenting stuff, like, come on, like,
Right.
they for $1.5 billion, they could have at least hired a good social media management team, a good marketing team that actually has real people that reply to, comments. Like, sometimes I see their Facebook ads, and I tell people, like, I leave a comment and there is no reply. People are asking questions and there's no reply from actual fair. So they have somebody that's running Facebook ads, but they don't know how to even run a Facebook ad. You gotta you gotta have some kind of fucking engagement. You can't just be running ads, just running ads. You have to engage with people. It's just fake.
Somebody's depressing these. Somebody's depressing these comments. Something's, because and their ads are so slick. I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting their ads on YouTube now constantly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're very slick ads, but man, people just it's just buyer beware. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really the biggest thing I'm hoping is somebody from an actual journalist, company, like media company, will pick up this fair company, and do a good investigation on it, because I mean, it's
It
just
needs to be
unreal. And
done. Yeah.
yeah, and something else I was going to ask you.
Sure.
So you got this really, they offered you this really bare bones cheap car for $640 a month. What's your credit score?
Oh, it's fluctuated a
Ballpark.
little bit. It's around between 600 and 650.
Okay. Okay, so you have an average credit score. You're not down in a, in 500s. You're not up in 750s. You're just an average credit score. So an average person can buy this really cheap Nissan or a Hyundai for about 250, $300 a month. But they are offering this car to you for twice as much, for more than twice as much, at $640. It's
Yep.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Thanks. Appreciate your
Okay.
time. I really do. Really do.
Okay, Dan. You're
If you
welcome,
have
man.
any other interesting experiences with Fair app, or if they reach
Oh,
out to you,
Dan,
let me know.
Dan, I really don't want to see these people ever again. I don't want to. I don't want to do any. I don't want to be texting. I don't want to talk. Send them emails. I don't want to hear from them. You know.
Oh
So
God. Oh, this is
you
way
know.
too good. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up below and click the subscribe button over my head, or watch one of those two videos if you want to see more money saving tips about cars. This is Dan with 60 Minute Car. I'm signing out, and I'll see you on the internet.